Hi there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. We have now got issue 55 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. In this one, we will be building our third and final smoke generator. So there will be no smoke generator in Funnel 4. If you've just watched issue 54 all the way to the end, you'll know why. There is no smoke generator in Funnel 4. It doesn't blow smoke, doesn't do anything. It's only 3 that actually blow smoke. Now, we've done this twice before, but we're going to do it a third time. And I would advise don't bother putting this in your funnel yet. Just don't. I mean, they don't ask you to do it in this one. I just store them somewhere safe. Just store these smoke generators somewhere safe. There has been concern about the smoke generators, and I have mentioned this multiple times, but as this is the last time we're building one, I will again try and put your concerns to rest. In issue, as far back as issue 2, I believe it was, or 3, we got a smoke generator where you could test it. And a lot of people test theirs, and there's barely anything coming off mine. There won't be, because this test board is not going to kick off the smoke that thing can do. I assure you, that thing goes, man, and it doesn't just kick off a little, puff of. It's ridiculous. It's almost too much. I'm expecting that to be the complaint. That well, these are a bit lively. That it's kicking off too much steam. Because when these things go, they go. And the reason why I know this is because I've seen them use this exact same setup, board, build before on a different model. So the exact same smoke generator, the exact same tank, everything, the way it's made, was used on a Hachette release that wasn't released in the UK or Europe or America. It was used on the Disneyland train. So there was a release in Japan only of the train the little steam train that circulates the Disney parks, and they put it inside that to blow steam out of the engine. And my God, is it ferocious. This thing, it absolutely buckets out. This will do the same. So don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. All that test was literally that, a test. Does it work? Yes. It's not working the way it should, but it will work, and it will work spectacularly, because we still don't know what the power source for the Titanic is going to be. I would imagine we're plugging this thing into a wall somewhere, or we're having a rechargeable battery source for it, because the fact that the motor came with USB-C cables suggests to me that we're not powering this thing by batteries. I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. Or there might be an option to do both. There might be an option to battery power it or mains power it. I don't know. But whatever the power source that goes into this, it's gonna be big. I would imagine you're looking at D batteries and a bunch of them, if anything, if it's battery powered, because you've got all of those LEDs that got light up. You've got 3 smoke generators that got kick off. You've got the sound effects that are going to be running from this one. Plus, it's all running by remote, and you've also got the engines turning. You're going to need a significant power source. You just are. That's the way it is. So don't panic. 2 AAA batteries are not going to replicate the effect that all of that power can do. So that's what it is. So relax. We're building our final smoke generator. Let's get this done. And at the end of this one, we're going to have a chat about SOS and CQD. SOS and CQD. And about a kind of an unsung hero of the Titanic. And the difference between SOS and CQD. It's an interesting story. And we'll talk all about it. But let's get into this one. Let's get the smoke generator built. Okay, so let's get our box open. I mean, I'm not expecting any real surprises here, because again, this is the third time we've done this. So let's have a look what we got going on. Right. Yep. Right, so there is the smoke generator itself. We're not testing those. Again, they are easily replaced if we do get problems later on. So don't panic about that. There's our tanks. In here, if I'm right, should be our sponge and our spring. Yep. There's the spring, sponge, a piece there. Yep. Okay. So let's get this done. Now, if you can remember, because I can remember, we're going to insert our spring into the middle of the sponge. I'm just pushing this down until it goes through. So if you're wondering how this works, what this is going to do is this spring is going to push the sponge up against the smoke generator. This sponge is going to absorb all of the water inside this tank, so it's going to give a direct flow of water to this generator. This is going to pull through. Trust me, it works. It works impressively as well. You'll be very happy when you see the final product. So the next thing we're going to do is going to take our sponge and we'll drop that down into the tank. So you'll see there, see, that's how that works. Pushes the sponge up. So we move that to the side for now. Now taking our smoke generator, noticing which way the wires go. So you want the wires, the hole of the wires here. We are going to insert that into the collar. So we're going to take our collar piece here, and we're going to insert that, as you can see. So the wires have somewhere to go. Have we done that right? Yes, we have. So that's where that's going to go there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach this collar over the top. So take this piece here, I'm going to attach onto there like so, and flip that one over. So make sure our wires aren't pinched, those are coming out and those are clean. Drop that one down there, and we're going to hold this in place with 2 of the EP screws, which are these ones here. Okay, so here's the first one. Pop that one in there. That's one. Take our second one. Pop that one in there. It's 2. That's that part done. And then we're almost done already, if you can believe it or not. No cuts. We're going to take this section and we're going to attach this to this, push that one down. We are going to take our wire here, thread that along, taking the rubber band we get with this one, put this one over here. Whoop. Thread that through there. Then we're going to stretch. Pull down. I had someone message me about this rubber band. They said there's a broke. What do I do? Just use another rubber band. There's nothing unique about this rubber band. It just happens to be clear. But I mean, again, it's not like you can't buy clear rubber bands. Just get another rubber band. And if, you know, yours is too big, just double it up. Because you're not going to see it. It's just going to be hidden inside a funnel. And that, believe it or not, is everything there is to do in this stage. We have this piece here. We're not going to be needing that just yet. That's going to go on our funnel. But I can show you. We've got a funnel over here. That's going to drop down into there. And this piece eventually will sit over the top of a funnel like that. And that's how we're going to be. That's it. Short and sweet. Very easily done. 3rd time's the charm. So that's our 3rd and final smoke generator complete. We never have to build another smoke generator. Isn't that a wonderful thing? At some point we will be getting a pipette to fill these with. So you will get the exact amount of water you need to squirt into these, and it will show you exactly how we do it. This comes off, you take the sponge out, you squirt the water. It's a whole thing. Let's have a chat. So that's it, nice and simple. I mean, it's the 3rd time we've done it, you know, so there's no surprises in this one at all. But again, you just got to trust me. You just got to trust me these are going to work. And if they don't, I'll fall on my sword. I'll fall on my sword. But I've seen them working, and I'm telling you, it's bloody impressive when they go. And for me personally, it's something that I'm going to use a couple of times and never use again. Mine's going inside the display case. So filling a display case with steam is not something I'm going to do. So you have to take that case off to let this thing do its thing, and then put it back on unless you cut holes in the top of the case, which somewhat defeats the point of the case. So it's a cute thing it does. And it's something that I'll show my kids and they get a kick out of. And if I get visitors that want to see the thing work, I'll show them, they get a kick out of it. And one day, who knows, it might be granddad's trick and I might show my grandchildren, who knows. But it's just a nice thing it does. I don't think it's not a make or break for me, it really isn't. But it will work and it will look spectacular. But we're not going to see that for a long time. We're going to see that, I would imagine, next December. So December 2024 is when Titanic comes to an end, and that is literally when they're going to show you how to fill these and operate these. So it's a long time till we find out if this does what it's supposed to do. we're going to have, if you're just coming in for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and subscribe. A lot of you watch but haven't subscribed yet. We don't bite, we don't bother you. If you'd like to subscribe and follow us on the journey, all the other weird and wacky, wonderful things we build, we'd love to have you along for the ride. We really would. Thank you for your support. Everybody that has subscribed is very much appreciated. It's quite humbling how big our channel's grown in such a small period of time, and we just love talking with you all. So please feel free to pop something in the comments if you'd like to comment on it, or you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. For those of you sticking around for our Titanic talk, we are talking about CQD and SOS. So what are those? Well, SOS, everyone knows what SOS is. CQD preceded SOS. So before SOS was introduced, and it was introduced in 1911, CQD was the international distress call, and it did actually have meaning. CQD was come quickly danger, come quickly distress. That's what it meant. So CQD did actually have a meaning. CQD, come quickly distress, and that was at the time the international distress call. That was changed to SOS. Now, SOS, regardless of popular belief, does not mean save our souls. It does not mean save our ship. It doesn't mean anything. It's got no meaning at all. It is now regarded as meaning save our souls, and it makes sense. But that isn't what it means at all. The reason why SOS became the international signal is because it's simple. ... dash 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 ... It's simple. That was the whole point of it. That was the simplest distress call that could be put out. ... dash dash ... That's why SOS. No other reason. It's not because it means something phonetically. It's the simplicity of the call. That's what it is. So anybody could learn that immediately and send it out, whereas CQD was a lot more complicated. Now, in the model that we're building, we're actually going to get both. So we're going to get CQD and SOS, and there's a reason for that. When Titanic struck the iceberg, initially the distress call that's been put out was the CQD call, and the CQD call, because that was what was done. But they switched halfway through sending this out. After 10 minutes of not really getting any response to CQD, they switched and started sending out SOS. And the reason why they started sending out SOS is down to this man, Harold Bride. Take a look at Harold. So that's Harold Bride. Harold Bride was born in Scotland in 1890, January 1890, and he trained to be a wireless Marconi operator, wireless radio Marconi operator. And he joined the Titanic. It was one of his first major appointments. And he would have only been 22 years old. The senior Marconi operator at the time was John Phillips, and John Phillips was actually manning the Marconi in the Marconi room the night the Titanic struck the iceberg. But Harold had been sent to relieve him from his duty before the iceberg hit. I mean, moments before the iceberg hit, bizarrely enough. So Harold went down to relieve him and said, "You look tired. Go to bed and I'll take over." It was at that point that it struck. So they happened by sheer fluke. Both of them were actually at the station when it happened. So Harold, being the younger of the two, was the runner. So he was running between the captain and the Marconi room, delivering the messages backwards and forwards. And they were sending out the CQD for, I said 10 minutes. I think it was 5 minutes maybe. Well, I don't think it was 10 minutes. But they initially started out the CQD because John Phillips, the senior operator, that's what he'd done his whole life. He'd always sent the CQD as what he knew. That's what you send out. It was Harold that suggested SOS, which John was reluctant to use, but it's like, well, this is now the recognised distress call. And Harold insisted, let's try the SOS, let's try SOS. So John agreed, and they sent out the SOS call. And there's a belief that move to switch from CQD to SOS is what alerted Carpathia and other ships, because CQD was it's a complicated Morse signature. But I mean, SOS, all of us know SOS. If you hear SOS, you know it. I think most people, if they heard it, know what it is. You won't know any other Morse code, but you know the ... dash 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 ... It's very distinctive. It catches the ear. So when there's a lot of other Morse code that just sounds like chatter, that one stands out, and it stands out significantly. There's a reluctance to use it because, again, I mean, I'm of an age where I can remember when fax was the big thing and it was used in every single office. And then when email came in, people, what's the point of email? We've got fax. And no one would use email. They'd all insist on using fax. And I'm sure all of you know someone that still bloody faxes things, and the fax just won't die for some reason. But you look at fax like it's like a cave person thing. It's like when people still watch DVDs. You go, DVDs, really? Is that still a thing? And this was the same thing. It was that reluctance to shift. I mean, my mother was like it. My mother would not shift from VHS to DVD. It took her so long to do it. We were like, you got to be the last person on the planet still taping things. Same thing. It's weird. We're all set in our ways of using CQD. Why would we use SOS? Because it's simple, it's quick, anyone can learn it, and it's just got a flow to go through. So that's why it was used. And Harold Bride was this massive advocate and pushed and pushed and pushed. Let's SOS. And it worked. It worked. So Harold's actions potentially are what saved all the people that were saved from the Titanic. Potentially it is Harold Bride was a key part of that by insisting they use SOS. And he is somewhat unsung. I mean, I would imagine a lot of you are hearing that name and thinking, never heard of him. Massive. He played a massive, massive part in that. And here, he and John Phillips, also a hero, didn't leave their posts. They were relieved from duty by the captain, and they stayed at their post for another quarter of an hour, which doesn't sound like a lot. But at that point, the ship was filling up with water fast. And they stayed at the Marconi until it wasn't possible for them to do so anymore. The room started filling up with water, and it was like, it's time to go. But they kept hammering that SOS non-stop, until they physically couldn't do it anymore. Phillips and Bride left their room and they went in opposite directions, and that was the last time Bride saw Phillips alive, sadly. Phillips was lost and was never seen again. It was at this point Bride got hit by a wave and was knocked overboard and fell into the water. And that looked like it was going to be the end of Harold Bride. But it wasn't. Harold Bride was one of the people that managed to scrabble into Collapsible A, which had now drifted off the deck of the ship, which we spoke about a couple of issues ago. So one of the people that was saved from Collapsible A, one of the 30 people went into Collapsible A, only 12 came out. One of the people that came out was Harold Bride, and Harold Bride, I'm happy to tell you, lived. He was a survivor of the Titanic, and he was key witness in all of the trials of the Titanic, all of the reviews of exactly what happened. He was a key witness in all of it. And he lived in Scotland for another 10 years after the disaster, and lived a full life, lived a good life. But it haunted him, which it would. But an unsung hero, and there has been call for a plaque to be put up in his hometown, and rightfully so, because I mean, that man, his insistence of let's try something new, probably did save the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of people on board the Titanic that night. It just did. And that is the story of CQD and SOS. Now, your model will broadcast both. So there is a function on your remote where you can send out the CQD and you can send out the SOS, which I think is awesome that we get both. And I think it's testimony to both. So when you're playing CQD, you know for what it was John Phillips sending it out. When you play the SOS, you know it was Harold Bride, and what a lovely thing. That is all for this one. We will be back very, very, very soon with issue 56 to close out the month, where we're building the base for funnel 4, which is going to be slightly different to the other funnels. Tune in for that one. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. If you'd like to contact us, you can at buildwiththeboys@outlook.com. If you haven't yet, please remember to both like and subscribe. It helps our channel massively, and your support is very much appreciated. We will see you very, very soon for issue 56. I will catch you then.